Hey there, real quick before we begin, you're about to watch a live stream, which means you're really kind of behind the scenes here because these lessons are usually watched in the archives, but you're here for the live taping of them. So if we mess up really bad, we're probably going to chop that out, but you're going to get to see all of our bloopers and mistakes. We'll also chop this off, so no one is going to see this part of the lesson but you. And because you're behind the scenes, you're probably going to ignore my instructions when I say, like, pause the video and go practice or whatever. You can if you want. It's just that everyone in the chat room then will be in different places in the video. That's fine. When you want to join us live again, go down to the bottom of the video, click on the live button, and that should take you straight to where we actually are now. So now here comes the part for everybody else. I'm really glad you're with us. The archives are fine, but my favorite is talking to you live. So see you in the chat room. Welcome back to KidsLearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock here, the lesson is about to begin. If this is your first time playing piano, welcome. I'm very excited for you. You're going to do great. Hopefully you already received from us the welcome packet in the mail, and maybe you even got started on the Absolute Beginners video pack to teach you the names and the notes and things like that. But if not, that's fine. You'll do great. I'll show you how to play all the notes. And if I'm going too fast for you, you can always pause the video or rewind it and go over the more difficult parts. You can always pause the video or rewind it and go over the more difficult parts. And even if you only learn a little bit of this song and you don't learn the whole thing, you'll still learn enough to help you build skills so you can learn other songs faster in the future. So jump in, give it a try. You're bound to end up at least a little bit better than you even are right now. Throughout the lesson, I may refer to Klopple Academy, and you can check out that link on the website if you want. Basically, it's a program that takes you all the way from learning the names of the notes, the very beginning, through 12 levels of classical and jazz music, through all the skills that you would need to become a professional pianist. So you would learn all the same stuff that you would learn if you're taking regular traditional piano lessons, probably plus a little bit more, but it takes about 5 to 10 years to complete. So you can just try out the first level, see if it's the kind of thing that you like, or if you just care about today's lesson and learning this song, then just ignore all those references and focus on today's lesson. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The MP3 is a play-along track that you can use to practice more after the lesson, but a lot of students like to print out the PDF right now so they have it during the lesson. Careful, it could be up to like 30 pages, so just find the couple pages that you want and print those out. If you decide not to, that's fine. I'll show you all of the notes on screen as we go through it. And we will be going through 5 different levels of this song that all use the same play-along track. So even if you've never played piano before, you'll still be able to do level 1. And then as we go through level 2, 3, 4, and 5, then when we use that same play-along track, you just keep playing your same version. If you're watching this lesson in the archives and you have a question during the lesson, then feel free to click on that survey button. And at the end of the survey, there's a place for you to ask your question, and I will do my best to get back to you with the answer to that question. But if you're with us live as we're recording this today, then feel free to click on that chat button, and you can talk with all the other students who are logged in during the live lesson. And if you have a question about the lesson, then you can just go ahead and type that into the box that says, Ask Jamin a Question, and we will do our best to answer that question live in the lesson. All right, I think that's the end of the boring stuff. I'm ready to learn a song. Stay tuned at the end of the lesson and I'll show you how to win more points and earn more prizes next week. But for right now, let's get this party started. Welcome back, everybody, to KidsLearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and this is the incomparable Klopple. And unfortunately, the incomparable Kendra will not be joining us today, but I'm glad to have you with us, Klopple. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you think you get to interrupt more today because she's not here to hold you back. But I want to show all of you how to play this song. It's the one that goes like this. I'll play it for you first at full speed, and then I'll slow it down and show you how to play all the notes. But it's the one that goes like this. 1, 2, 3. So that's the song. And let's slow it down a little bit. Let me show you where all the letters are and stuff too, so we can play all these notes. The first thing we need is a G. So in order to find a G, you're just gonna take any group of 3 black notes, like these ones, or like these ones. Just don't pick a group of 2 and you should be fine. Any group of 3 black notes and take the middle note out of that group of 3. So go ahead and play that group of 3, and then play just the middle note, and then drag it a little bit to the left or a little bit down until you land on a white note that's right next to it, and that's gonna be a G. That's gonna be the lowest note of this entire song. So we won't play any notes down there on that side. It's only gonna be these notes up on top of that G. So we're gonna play 2 of those, and we're gonna say the gore. And that's right there, the gore. And then for the ill part of gorilla, we're gonna need to jump up a whole lot of notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes after that one is an E, because G is the last note in the musical alphabet. So it's gonna go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and the E is the one that we need. So we're gonna play 2 G's and then jump right to an E. So for some of you, you might want to use your other hand for that G, or for that E. Just get ready on that E so you can play the gorilla, because there's not a lot of time when you play the track. The track goes like this: 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, go. The gorilla. So it's pretty fast from those 2 G's to that E. So maybe get 2 hands ready on those ones right there. And once you can play that and it's easy, and maybe once you can do it with 1 hand, like this, then you're ready to move on to just the 1 single next note. And the 1 single next note is a C, and that finishes off the word gorilla. So we'd have the gorilla, and then we're gonna go down 2 notes like that. Skip over this note right here. That's a D. You don't want the D. You want the note after that. That one right there, that's a C, and that would be all of the gorilla. The gorilla. So practice just that along with the track. It'd be like this: 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, go. The gorilla. And then pretty much as soon as you play la there, we've got to move on to the next note. So the C is actually it's the end of the word, but it's the beginning of the next musical phrase. So that's the beginning of something that's gonna happen that's fast, and we're gonna play that C and then go up 1 note and come right back. So C, D, C, the one right next to it, like that. And then we're gonna jump down after that, not to this note right here, but to this one. That's the whole musical phrase right there. So maybe just practice that one chunk right there from La Donkey Kong. So I know it's weird because that's not how the words like are chunked. The la part goes with gorilla, but La Donkey Kong, that's the way you should practice it on the piano, because that's the musical phrase. That thing right there. So we would have all together, once you have time to practice all of this, it would go the gorilla, La Donkey Kong. And maybe that's all that you practice for this week, is just that much, because it goes really fast and it's got a big jump at the beginning and a little jump in the middle and stuff. So that might be enough for this week just to practice that section of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on so that you can come back to this video later on and learn the rest of the notes along with me. But let's go ahead and move on to the next notes. We've got 2 more A's after that. So once you get down to Kong, then the next 2 are gonna be the same exact note. If you make it that far, then we're gonna play that same exact thing. And actually, if you just play the exact same notes but bump them all over 1 note, that thing is the exact same thing. Like if I couldn't see any of the notes and I was trying to play, but I messed up and I accidentally started 1 note over, I would play, and that would not be the right notes for the first line, but it would be the right notes for the second line. So all of that, the exact same shape, but just moved over 1 note. That's the whole next thing. And his nephew Diddy Kong, right there, the exact same thing, just moved over 1 note. That doesn't mean that it's easy to play or that you can play it right now. It just means it's easier for you to understand it, maybe, that you can figure out what all those notes are once you get the first section down. But don't worry about practicing that right now. Just work on that first phrase until it all makes sense. Of course, if you're in the archives, you can press pause on the video at any time you want and practice it up on your own, so you can come back and play all of those 2 phrases with us. But if you're live with us right now, then just play all the notes that you can. Don't worry about the ones that you're gonna miss. Just keep on moving. Here we go. Let's try it together. 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, go. The gorilla, Donkey Kong. Now move it over, and his nephew Diddy Kong. And then this next part looks like it's gonna be the exact same thing. I wish. It starts out the same, so the hard part of it's the same. So if you just move it all over and start it like you're gonna do the exact same thing, right there, all of that is the exact same thing, just scooted one over. Where it starts to get a little bit different right here is on this note, this G right here. So at the end of it, instead of going, it's gonna go. That might be confusing, so maybe don't think of it that way. Maybe just work on the letters in a row. It's a B and then a B, and I'm on this phrase right here. Will defeat, so that's that big jump. Scooch over one, or jump over one, and then go one up, one up, one up. So 4 notes all in a row there, and those are the notes for the cruel Lord. So the cruel Lord. And then we get to go back to a C after we have all that done. Again, if you're live with us, you probably don't have all these notes down. You'll need to come back to the video later on and work on all these notes. But let me show you this last section. Right here, we're gonna play a C and a D and an E. You already played a C and a D and a C right back here. So these are the exact same notes as we played back there. La Don is the same thing as winning. So a C and a D. These are notes you've already figured out before. And then we're gonna play the next note up. Winning there, and then move all 3 of those notes down 1. So those ones right there. We're gonna play all those in a row, and that would be banana. So winning there, and then banana, and the whole thing on a C, and you've got it all down. This is gonna take some practice because it's kind of a fast song. It's got a lot of jumps and stuff. It doesn't really repeat much, but it does kind of repeat the same shapes, just shifted over a lot. So trying to remember where all those shifts go and stuff, that's kind of tricky. But let's play I'll play along with the track. Play all the notes that you can. If you miss a bunch of notes, that's perfectly fine. But here we go. Let's try it all together. Get all the notes that you can, at least the first couple. Ready? 1, 2, go. The gorilla, the Donkey Kong, and his nephew Diddy Kong. Oops. Will defeat the cruel Lord. Winning there, banana horn. Yeah. Okay, so that is all of the notes. We'll practice that a lot more on level 2, 3, 4, and 5. But for right now, I want Kendra to tell you about our weekly activity.
This week is the treble clef dice, and you just cut out the dice and tape them together so you can test yourself on the treble clef. And tag Learn Piano Live when you post a picture on Facebook or Instagram for 150 bonus points from Kloppel, our favorite mascot.
Yeah, and that helps out a whole lot on like Kloppel Academy level, I think 3 and 4 is where you have to do a lot of the sight reading. Actually, you have to end up doing sight reading on level 1, I think. But level 2, 3, 4, that's where this stuff gets a whole lot harder. So anyway, work on those treble clef, and actually the bass clef ones are going to be important too. But for right now, let's do a little bit of mailbag.
If you'd like to win an extra 750 points by being the mailbag winner, just fill out the survey at the end of the lesson, or send us a message anytime during the week using the contact button at the top of the page.
And this week it's from New You, who says, Dear Jamin, how can I write my own song? Well, if I were... Well, hang on. First, second, wait. First of all, you are already playing your own songs every time you try a song and you mess up a little bit, because that's honestly how I write a lot of my songs. Like if I play something and like I mess up and I'm like, ooh, actually maybe that was kind of cool, and I try it again, never mess up only once. If you mess up, do that same mess up again and do it again and see if like maybe it actually sounds good. It usually only sounds bad because you're expecting something else, but if you play it again and again, a lot of times those actually sound good. And almost all of the tracks that we have, you can just play all white notes and just kind of make stuff up. Like if I play this track even, the one that we have today, and if I just play like all white notes, I can just like make up whatever I want. Also, I'll just play like random white notes. just using these notes right here. I will say that actually the thing that people probably mess up the most on when they're trying to write a new song is they try to play too many notes. So if I were you, I would just use a few notes and then like let there be some space between the notes too. So like maybe a bad song would be a song that uses way too many notes and there's way too many of them, like this. Here's probably a not a great song. It would go something like this. Way too many notes, way too many notes. But if I just use a few, like maybe just these three right here, and make sure there's plenty of space in between, like this. That sounds, I think, more like something that I would like be proud of as a song, even though it doesn't have very many notes, and there was a lot of places where I wasn't playing anything new. Probably a few notes, and then give yourself lots of space, and then just explore and mess up and have fun. You know how all that goes. But there's no real secret to making a new song. If you try something and you like it, it's a new song. But there are a couple secrets about this song. Let me tell you about those right now.
Secret information.
And this week in our top secret information folder, the first thing we have, this is kind of cool, something called sequencing. That's the thing that I was trying to tell you about before. We didn't have a fancy name for it before, but now you know the secret. It's called sequencing, when you have some little idea and then you just move it over a little bit. So like if I had this idea right here, then if I just played that same pattern but move it over, right there, that's called sequencing. So when you're writing songs too, I didn't say this earlier, but if you're writing a song and you find something that you like, try playing that same exact thing, but bump it over a note or two. And maybe if you sequence that idea, it'll sound like it's something new and there'll be new notes, but in your head, you'll be like, actually, this is pretty easy because it's the same thing I did, just moved over a little bit. So sequencing is really important and a nice way to write songs kind of easily. The next thing in our secret folder is, the end of this thing has something called an enclosure. So this thing right here, that is an enclosure. An enclosure is where you have a note that you're aiming at. In this case, the note that we're aiming at is a C. So we know we're gonna aim at a C, but we're gonna play all the notes around C first. So like this is a C, these would be the notes around it. So I'm gonna play a B and then walk up to a D before I finally hit my C. That way, when we finally get to the C, we've played all the notes around it. Everybody wants to hear that C. We've played not a C and not a C and not a C and not a C, and when we finally land on that C, it's so satisfying. So a lot of times at the end of songs that are like the best endings are the ones that have the enclosures in them. So when you're writing your songs, don't only use sequencing, but you can also use enclosures. Instead of just going straight to the cool sounding note at the end of the song, why don't you try enclosing the note, going around that note, playing the notes on both sides of that one, and that'll help that thing sound a little bit more resolved at the end. Well, that's the only secret I have for you, except for who won the raffle. Let's find out if it's you. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.